Welcome to the Dell NativeEdge overview video. Today we'll be discussing what Dell NativeEdge is, its use cases, and its various features. The core data center is at the center of traditional IT operations. These are designed for a centralized approach to data processing and workload management. However, as workloads increase, so have the requirements for real-time decision-making and action, closer to where the data is generated. And we're also witnessing the increasing significance of distributed data centers. These environments are often located in back offices and remote locations, and include much smaller footprints compared to core data centers. These environments create an interconnected framework of multi-cloud dependencies for many workloads and data processing activities. And throughout these locations, organizations must continue to support traditional workloads such as databases, while also supporting modern workloads such as AI, IoT, and big data analytics. NativeEdge focuses on distributed data centers and the edge. These locations are playing an increasingly important role for organizations seeking reduced latency, higher levels of security, and greater efficiency as more workloads are deployed outside of core data centers. Edge and distributed data centers have unique challenges, such as operating distributed systems across geographically dispersed locations is challenging due to complexities such as latency, network reliability, diverse hardware configurations, and environmental conditions. Distributed environments may be situated in remote or hard-to-reach areas, making it impractical or costly to station IT personnel on site. This introduces challenges such as limited technical support, security risks, hardware maintenance difficulties, deployment complexity, and more. The distributed nature of these locations creates security challenges because adding a new and rapidly growing set of distributed applications, data, and infrastructure inevitably expands the attack surface. And lastly, ensuring reliable operations in environments that may have unreliable network access can impact performance and reliability. Dell NativeEdge is a full-stack solution that securely centralizes the deployment, orchestration, and lifecycle management of diverse infrastructure and applications at the edge and across distributed data centers. NativeEdge, now integrated with Dell Automation Platform, includes two high-level capabilities: templatized application orchestration and infrastructure management. Built on an open design, NativeEdge offers you the flexibility to choose the ISV applications and cloud environments for your workloads. You can centrally and consistently deploy containerized and virtual applications using blueprints to work with your choice of frameworks and vendors. You can also deploy applications across new or existing multi-cloud environments. With a broad infrastructure portfolio and secure supply chain, Dell can digitally sign and certify hardware in the factory. We pass those keys on to automate the deployment and configuration of infrastructure managed by NativeEdge, while ensuring a zero-trust chain of custody. This enables you to reduce complexity of centralized control, protect data, infrastructure, and applications of zero-trust security, support VMs and containers with flexible and highly scalable configuration options, seamlessly orchestrate AI workloads and frameworks, and cut costs of automation and hardware at a low entry cost. Let's take a closer look at NativeEdge's benefits. Centralized operations with Dell NativeEdge, enabling deployment and lifecycle management of infrastructure and applications with no IT skill set required. All infrastructure is automatically provisioned with zero-touch onboarding as soon as it comes online, minimizing manual intervention, reducing human error, and accelerating time to value. Configurations of infrastructure and applications are consistent and error-free throughout all locations, ensuring optimal performance without IT intervention. Fleet-wide visibility and centralized policy management enables monitoring of endpoint health and performance while ensuring compliance across all locations for up to thousands of devices across highly distributed environments. Let's take a look at what the traditional deployment process looks like throughout distributed locations without Dell NativeEdge. In this traditional model, technology solutions need to be ordered, delivered, and staged at each location, and IT personnel must physically visit each site and manually handle the configuration and setup process. We're only showing a handful of locations here on this slide, but you can imagine for organizations with dozens or hundreds of locations, this can be a very time-consuming ordeal. The process can result in mismatched software and firmware versioning, inconsistent deployment and configuration processes, and the expansive attack surface can result in additional security threats. With Dell NativeEdge, the compute infrastructure you order is drop-shipped to any location. No IT skill set is required for personnel to plug in the network cables and power up each device. With zero-touch provisioning, the NativeEdge OS is automatically installed and systems will be running a consistent level of code for any deployed applications. Lifecycle management for both infrastructure and applications is simple and can be coordinated through a single screen for all infrastructure across all locations. The result is a fast time to value, peace of mind knowing that all infrastructure is locked down with an immutable OS, and simplified lifecycle management with no IT skill set required on-site. Dell NativeEdge includes robust end-to-end security tailored for edge and distributed environments. A notable security capability includes automated secure device onboarding. Here we take a closer look at this process. All NativeEdge endpoints are securely initialized in Dell factories and stockpiled without any software installed. An ownership voucher is created that is used to cryptographically transfer and prove ownership throughout the supply chain. This voucher is integrated into the orchestrator and essentially notifies the orchestrator to prepare for secure onboarding of the new device. The device is shipped directly from manufacturing, and the only activity required when it arrives is to plug in the network and power cables and turn the power on. At that point in time, the device and orchestrator commence secure communications. Once the orchestrator determines the authenticity and integrity of the new device through secure component verification, it will provision the NativeEdge operating environment on the device. Additional security capabilities include continuous monitoring across distributed environments, enabling fast detection and resolution of potential threats. A secure supply chain controls and validates the integrity of all infrastructure, and a hardened, immutable OS eliminates the threat of any tampering that could compromise operations. Secure access controls provide peace of mind across distributed environments with an ever-expanding potential attack surface. Dell NativeEdge is highly adaptable and scalable and can be deployed as a single-tier, two-tier, or disaggregated solution with high-availability clusters. Let's start with the flexible options for compute infrastructure. You can deploy single-node NativeEdge endpoints from Dell. You also have the option to deploy NativeEdge endpoints as high-availability clusters that scale out. Today, you can currently cluster 3 or 4 NativeEdge endpoints with software-defined storage enabled by the NativeEdge OS. This delivers the benefits of scalability, reliability, and high availability with live migration and application failover. These HA clusters of software-defined storage will be able to access external storage, such as PowerStore and PowerVault. This external storage can be scaled up while connected to the clustered NativeEdge endpoints. NativeEdge also includes the optional integration of backup capabilities with PowerProtect Data Manager, providing an added layer of security and convenience throughout distributed environments. Dell NativeEdge is also compatible with third-party and brownfield endpoints for virtualization and containerization. Dell NativeEdge supports application orchestration on those endpoints, in addition to doing the same for NativeEdge endpoints. And with Dell Automation Platform, you can automate deployment and lifecycle manage many different types of applications, ranging from AI frameworks to industry-specific applications to any homegrown or other solution you might need. NativeEdge endpoints are custom-built in Dell manufacturing facilities for integration with the NativeEdge OS, enabling zero-touch onboarding and zero-touch security. Here you see the broad portfolio of endpoints, including ruggedized edge servers, select rack servers with the recent integration of the 17th generation of PowerEdge servers, as well as tower servers and PCs. This is an ever-expanding portfolio. NativeEdge blueprints automate the deployment of frameworks and applications across your entire distributed environment. A blueprint details the steps for automated deployment, including application settings, infrastructure, resources, network configurations, custom workflows, and scripts. The core purpose of the blueprinting capability within NativeEdge is to make the transition from infrastructure to outcomes seamless. This is our intent-based provisioning model. A customer simply defines an intent, for instance, the specific application you want to run, with its required frameworks and configurations. Our blueprint assistant then takes that intent, auto-generates the necessary tasks, and deploys the entire stack to create the desired state. This is how we automate the deployment of complex application stacks and ensure consistency, standardization, and governance at scale across hundreds or thousands of sites. Now we'll walk through the architecture for high availability clustering to support virtualization. Here we have the NativeEdge OS, which enables the NativeEdge endpoints shown here to be deployed with zero-touch onboarding with adherence to zero-trust security principles. These endpoints can be deployed as a high-availability cluster built on the NativeEdge OS, which can also automate the deployment of VMs and containers utilizing a KVM hypervisor and container runtime. This high-availability configuration also includes software-defined storage throughout the PowerEdge cluster. We see support for virtualization represented along the top of the image with a series of virtual machines. Example of virtualization features include live VM migration for non-disruptive workload management, automated VM restart capabilities to ensure high availability and minimal downtime, and automated intelligent load balancing, which distributes workloads in a way that optimizes performance, resource allocation, and overall reliability. Because of the Broadcom disruption, we want to illustrate that there is a migration path for existing VMware customers. As we've discussed, many organizations rely on enterprise-grade hardware throughout distributed data centers and the edge, such as HCI, to support virtualized environments. This traditional approach is driven by the need for high availability and operational redundancy. However, this type of architecture comes with significant challenges, shown here again. So how can you make a seamless, non-disruptive transition from your existing virtualized infrastructure to Dell NativeEdge? You can start with NativeEdge when you deploy new workloads in edge and distributed data center locations. With secure device onboarding, NativeEdge ensures your infrastructure is protected from the start. It allows you to deploy appropriate edge form factor infrastructure tailored to the unique requirements of your workload. A key advantage of Dell NativeEdge is the clustering capability, even for edge form factor devices. Beyond clustering, NativeEdge simplifies infrastructure and application management. Most notably, Dell NativeEdge integrates with VMware environments to facilitate a seamless migration. NativeEdge can deploy applications, monitor VM clusters, and manage workloads even for your existing VMware environments, alongside doing the same for NativeEdge endpoints. This unified management experience provides a single pane of glass for orchestrating applications and managing lifestyles, regardless of whether they're running on NativeEdge endpoints or VMware vSphere clusters. With this flexibility and scalability, Dell NativeEdge ensures a secure, efficient, and streamlined approach to virtualization throughout your edge and distributed data center deployments. As you retire your existing VMware-based HCI hardware, you can transition to Dell NativeEdge for all your virtualized and containerized workloads, standardizing your infrastructure on purpose-built NativeEdge endpoints. This process is made straightforward with an intuitive user interface that enables smooth VM migrations from any VMware environment to a NativeEdge environment. This leads to simplified management of infrastructure and applications across many locations. Zero Trust security principles are built into every layer and transaction, along with an immutable OS that ensures everything you deploy stays locked down. Configuration options and scalability meet the unique requirements of each workload. And virtualization and containerization capabilities are present without the heavyweight costs of enterprise-class infrastructure. Essentially, you get enterprise power without enterprise sprawl, a flexible, scalable, secure alternative to VMware. NativeEdge delivers everything you've come to expect from traditional HCI appliances to run virtualized workloads. Features like native support for virtualization and containers, infrastructure lifecycle management, high availability of backup, workload balancing, live migration of VM import, external storage integration, and endpoint scalability. But NativeEdge doesn't stop there. It's purpose-built for the new paradigm of distributed environments, offering modern, differentiated capabilities that set it apart. Support for bare metal containers, full application lifecycle management, zero-touch hardware deployment, a secure supply chain with an immutable OS, and a SaaS-based management console, all at a lower price per node.